Hello, welcome back. Good evening. Good Wednesday evening. I'm John, an old YouTuber. Let's continue. I did watch the Danish early evening news, 6:30 p.m. and I made my Danish video about Ukraine. I made a video about I got 15,000, 90,000 subscribers and gave that geography. I was looking from where in the world I had my views. I have 13% views. 13% of my views is out of Denmark and 2.3% is from United States, so that's very good. I like these numbers to get up. No, that's because I have like 200 more subscribers the last 2 or 3 days, so I was wonder why normally I only have few subscribers every day, few new like 100 subscribers every month, so that's 2, 3, 4 subscribers every day. I normally not get 100 subscribers, more than 100 subscribers every day, but I did like yesterday. But I did download all this PDF. I was making this lists about the electric batteries, but then we made a new list because then expanding this list, we go to Alessandro, Volta, Mr. Volta, watt, ampere. We should maybe read about this person with this ampere name, last name with ampere. Not Ørsted, George Heinz. I forgot to write his name there. Should maybe do it there. Yes, I will do that, but I forgot the name, his name. So I have to find, let's just get started because this takes a long time and I start to get, no, it not takes a long time, this zone is 6 or 7 pages, no, that's 8 pages. Yes, so just to know, we have a male called Ampere, last name. I forgot to write it down. I think we should have it after, but I have to search the Wikipedia what his name is. Also Ampere, his last name, his family name. His first name is something else. I forgot something with J, I not remember. So 13% of my view is out of Denmark, but 87% of my view is from Denmark. So I don't have much views out of Denmark, but that could change when my life change. Maybe one day I can go travel and eat some nice foods. Show, read loud, activate voice, read to enter documents.
Alessandro Volta. Count Alessandro Volta, alessandrovolta.jpg. Born 18 February 1745 Como, Duchy of Milan. Died 5 March 1827, aged 82, Como, Lombard of Venetia, Austrian Empire. Nationality Italian. Known for invention of the electric cell. Discovery of methane. Volt. Voltage. Voltmeter. Awards Copley Medal, 1794. Legion of Honor, 1. Order of the Iron Crown, 1. Scientific career fields Physics and Chemistry. Alessandro Giuseppe Antonio Anastasio Volta, /Volt VLT Italian, Alessandro Volta. The 18th of February, 1745 5 March 1827, was an Italian physicist, chemist and lay Catholic who was a pioneer of electricity and power. 2, 3, 4, who is credited as the inventor of the electric battery and the discoverer of methane. He invented the Voltaic pile in 1799, and reported the results of his experiments in 1805, in a two-part letter to the President of the Royal Society. 6, 7. With this invention Volta proved that electricity could be generated chemically and debunked the prevalent theory that electricity was generated solely by living beings. Volta's invention sparked a great amount of scientific excitement and led others to conduct similar experiments, which eventually led to the development of the field of electrochemistry. 7. Volta also drew admiration from Napoleon Bonaparte for his invention, and was invited to the Institute of France to demonstrate his invention to the members of the Institute. Volta enjoyed a certain amount of closeness with the emperor throughout his life, and he was conferred numerous honors by him. 1. Volta held the chair of experimental physics at the University of Pavia for nearly 40 years and was widely idolized by his students. 1. Despite his professional success, Volta tended to be a person inclined towards domestic life, and this was more apparent in his later years. At this time he tended to live secluded from public life and more for the sake of his family until his eventual death in 1827 from a series of illnesses which began in 1823. 1. The psi unit of electric potential is named in his honor as the Volt. Contents. Early life and works. Volta and Galvani. Early battery. Last years and retirement legacy. Religious beliefs. Publications lesser known collections. See also. References. External links. Early life and works. Volta was born in Como, a town in northern Italy, on the 18th of February, 1745. In 1794, Volta married an aristocratic lady also from Como, Teresa Peregrini, with whom he raised 3 sons, Zanino, Flaminio, and Luigi. His father, Filippo Volta, was of noble lineage. His mother, Donna Maddalena, came from the family of the Inzagis. 8. In 1774, he became a professor of physics at the Royal School in Como. A year later, he improved and popularized the electrophorus, a device that produced static electricity. His promotion of it was so extensive that he is often credited with its invention, even though a machine operating on the same principle was described in 1762 by the Swedish experimenter Johann Wilcke. 2. 9. In 1777, he traveled through Switzerland. There he befriended H.B. de Saussure. In the years between 1776 and 1778, Volta studied the chemistry of gases. He researched and discovered methane after reading a paper by Benjamin Franklin of the United States on flammable air. In November 1776, he found methane in the marshes of Angra on Lake Maggiore. 10. And by 1778 he managed to isolate methane. 11. He devised experiments such as the ignition of methane by an electric spark in a closed vessel. Volta also studied what we now call electrical capacitance, developing separate means to study both electrical potential difference, V, and charge, Q, and discovering that for a given object, they are proportional. 12. This is called Volta's law of capacitance, and for this work, the unit of electrical potential has been named the Volt. 12. In 1779, he became a professor of experimental physics at the University of Pavia, a chair that he occupied for almost 40 years. 1. Volta and Galvani. Luigi Galvani, an Italian physicist, discovered something he named animal electricity when two different metals were connected in series with a frog's leg and to one another. Volta realized that the frog's leg served as both a conductor of electricity, what we would now call an electrolyte, and as a detector of electricity. He also understood that the frog's legs were irrelevant to the electric current, which was caused by the two differing metals. 13. He replaced the frog's leg with brine-soaked paper, and detected the flow of electricity by other means familiar to him from his previous studies. In this way he discovered the electrochemicals Rs, and the law that the electromotive force, EMF, of a galvanic cell, consisting of a pair of metal electrodes separated by electrolyte, is the difference between their two electrode potentials. Thus, two identical electrodes and a common electrolyte give zero net EMF. This may be called Volta's law of the electrochemical series. In 1800, as the result of a professional disagreement over the galvanic response advocated by Galvani, Volta invented the Voltaic pile, an early electric battery, which produced a steady electric current. 14. Volta had determined that the most effective pair of dissimilar metals to produce electricity was zinc and copper. Initially he experimented with individual cells in series, each cell being a wine goblet filled with brine in tohic. The two dissimilar electrodes were dipped. The Voltaic pile replaced the goblets with cardboard soaked in brine. Volta battery, at the Tempio Volcano Museum, Como early battery. A Voltaic pile. In announcing his discovery of the Voltaic pile, Volta paid tribute to the influences of William Nicholson, Tiberius Cavallo, and Abraham Bennett. 15. The battery made by Volta is credited as one of the first electrochemical cells. It consists of two electrodes, one made of zinc, the other of copper. The electrolyte is either sulfuric acid mixed with water or a form of saltwater brine. The electrolyte exists in the form 2H and so 2,4. Zinc metal, which is higher in the electrochemical series than both copper and hydrogen, is oxidized to zinc cations, Zn2+, and creates electrons that move to the copper electrode. The positively charged hydrogen ions, protons, capture electrons from the copper electrode, forming bubbles of hydrogen gas, H2. This makes the zinc rod the negative electrode and the copper rod the positive electrode. Thus, there are two terminals and an electric current will flow if they are connected. The chemical reactions in this Voltaic cell are as follows: zinc Zn2++, 2E sulfuric acid 2H and plus 2EH2. Copper metal does not react, but rather it functions as a catalyst for hydrogen gas formation and an electrode for the electric current. The sulfate anion, So2,4, does not undergo any chemical reaction either, but migrates to the zinc anode to compensate for the charge of the zinc cations formed there. However, this cell also has some disadvantages. It is unsafe to handle, since sulfuric acid, even if diluted, can be hazardous. Also, the power of the cell diminishes over time because the hydrogen gas is not released. Instead, it accumulates on the surface of the copper electrode and forms a barrier between the metal and the electrolyte solution. Last years and retirement. In 1809, Volta became associated member of the Royal Institute of the Netherlands. 16. In honor of his work, Volta was made a count by Napoleon Bonaparte in 1810. 2. Volta retired in 1819 to his estate in Camnago, a Frasian of Como, Italy, now named Camnago Volta in his honor. He died there on the 5th of March, 1827, just after his 82nd birthday. 17. Volta's remains were buried in Camnago Volta. 18. Legacy. Volta explains the principle of the electric column to Napoleon in 1801. Volta's legacy is celebrated by the Tempio Volsciano Memorial located in the public gardens by the lake. There is also a museum that has been built in his honor, which exhibits some of the equipment that Volta used to conduct experiments. 19. Nearby stands the Villa Omo, which houses the Volscian Foundation, an organization promoting scientific activities. Volta carried out his experimental studies and produced his first inventions near Como. 20. His image was depicted on the Italian 10,000 lire note, 1990-1997, along with a sketch of his Voltaic pile. 21. In late 2017, NVIDIA announced a new workstation focused microarchitecture called Volta, succeeding Pascal and preceding Turing. The first graphics cards featuring Volta were released in December 2017, with 2 more cards releasing over the course of 2018. The electric eel species Electrophorus voltae, described in 2019 and the strongest bioelectricity producer in nature, was named after Volta. 22. Religious beliefs. Volta was raised as a Catholic and for all of his life continued to maintain his belief. 23. Because he was not ordained a clergyman as his family expected, he was sometimes accused of being irreligious, and some people have speculated about his possible unbelief, stressing that he did not join the church. 24. Or that virtually ignored the church's call. 25. Nevertheless, he cast out doubts in a declaration of faith in which he said, "I do not understand how anyone can doubt the sincerity and constancy of my attachment to religion which I profess, the Roman Catholic and Apostolic religion in which I was born and brought up, and of which I have always made confession, externally and internally. I have indeed, and only too often, failed in the performance of those good works which are the mark of a Catholic Christian, and I have been guilty of many sins. But through the special mercy of God I have never, as far as I know, wavered in my faith. In this faith I recognize a pure gift of God, a supernatural grace, but I have not neglected those human means which confirm belief and overthrow the doubts which at times arise. I studied attentively the grounds and basis of religion, the works of apologists and assailants, the reasons for and against, and I can say that the result of such study is to clothe religion with such a degree of probability, even for the merely natural reason, that every spirit unperverted by sin and passion, every naturally noble spirit must love and accept it. May this confession which has been asked from me and which I willingly give, written and subscribed by my own hand, with authority to show it to whomsoever you will, for I am not ashamed of the gospel, may it produce some good fruit. 26, 27. Publications. Front page of Divia Tractiva Ignis Electricida 6 Attractiva Ignis Electrici, AC Phenomenis Independentibus. The attractive force of an electric fire and the resulting phenomena, in Latin. Novo Cumi, Typis Octae Storani. 1769. OCLC 14199897. Lesser known collections. Brief über Theorische Elektricität, 1900, Letters about Theorische Electricity, available through worldcat.org Libraries, Leipzig, W. Engelmann, Publisher. Untersuchungen über den Galvanismus, 1796 bis 1800, Studies in Galvanism, available through worldcat.org Libraries. Del modo di render sensibilissima la più debole elettricità natural, sia artificiale, of the method of rendering very sensible the weakest natural or artificial electricity by Mr. Alessandro Volta, Professor of Experimental Philosophy in Como, and C. Reed at the Royal Society.
Yes, the video splits in few seconds. I think I like to keep this in one part, so let's keep this in one part. It was edited June
History of the